Welcome inside the Quiet Storm. You know, you just never know what company is going to drop by. My door always stays open for anyone who would love to just sit down and have a conversation. But this brother is no stranger to my door and no stranger to your door either. He's come into our lives on multiple levels at different times for different reasons. And how do I describe this man aside from being one probably the most gifted, multi-talented singer-songwriter, three-time Grammy Award singer-songwriter, producer, uh, Golden Globe, Emmy nominated, amazing co-founder of the renowned group The Fugees, and he keeps adding titles to his story, to his journey. And I understand because this year, I understand he is co-chair of a wonderful event that's going on in Harlem. But it's a pleasure to always welcome inside the Quiet Storm, Brother Wyclef Jean. Stop by, say, brother.
How are you, my man? It's so crazy. I'm listening to your voice, and I'm like, man, we know that voice. You feel what I'm saying? As
Well,
a
brother,
as a son of a preacher, my greatest gift that I possess is probably like choir director, and I have the gift to put the choir together. So I've been amazed by voices. You sound amazing. Sound the same. Respect to you,
well,
family.
thank you, brother. I thank God every day for giving me a purpose. You know that's
Right.
so important to have a purpose. And Lord
So
knows God didn't stop just with me because He has blessed you with abundance.
yeah. Definitely. First, man, I'd like to shout out all of my fans through these years. It's and then the journey continues. My role model is Quincy Jones. At a very I was like 19 when I first like ran into Quincy, and I was a jazz major, and I became a jazz major just like watching like what Quincy was doing. Came from Haiti when I was 10 and lived in Marlboro Projects. Then we moved to Flatbush, you know what I mean, and then Jersey. But I say that to say when everyone was screaming about Michael Jackson, I was like, yo, but who's doing that music? And I fell in love with Q, and I never wanted to be in a box. You feel what I'm saying? So I just thank the audience for always like going with Clef, worldwide on just these constant, amazing journeys to just constantly keep fusing the culture together. So I want to thank y'all for that. So coming to Harlem as the co-chair and the event that they're putting together, what's amazing to me, about Harlem, first of all, as at a young age, I'm a Garveyite, right? Straight
Yes,
up.
sir. Yes, sir.
And you're like, you're very militant, and you follow what's going on. But for me, with Harlem, man, the melting pot, the cultural aspect, the political aspect, the social aspect, has always been one of the greatest places. Like just say like in the West Coast, like Oakland, like
Yeah.
just woke. Like
Yeah.
Harlem has always been awoke from the beginning.
Always.
So for me, Renaissance, everything. So this event in Harlem, it's gonna be pretty amazing, man. The lineup is gonna be from Tiana to Fat Joe to everybody just pulling up. ASAP Ferg, everybody just pulling up in Harlem next week. I'm gonna pull up. It's gonna be fun. I look forward to seeing everybody.
Hey, man, this is called the Harlem Festival of Culture. And what I love about this wonderful fest, man, that you are really fusing together heavily this year is that you're keeping the culture of black music and the culture of what we have really within the infrastructure and not letting the spotlight move from there. You know, they designate June as Black Music Month, but we should also recognize, celebrate our culture all year round because we have a lot. We've enriched a lot of cultures. A lot of our culture has been taken away from us and assumed by somebody else or other cultures. But I'm glad that you are leading the charge this year with the Harlem Festival of Culture to bring more awareness that it started from here. This is where we grow it from. And this coming weekend in on Randall's Island is
Yeah,
where this 3-day music fest is going to take place, right?
it's gonna be amazing. Yeah, so everybody got to come out,
Yeah.
and it's a family event, which is pretty amazing. So bring your family. It's so important. Bring the kids too. I'm gonna bring a couple of toys for the kids. I know kids like cars and bikes, so I bring a couple of Batman toys for the kids. Um, at the same time, come and not just enjoy the music. What I love when I perform is on stage. It's like I'm a producer. There's a joke about Wyclef. It's pretty amazing. The joke is like, yo, Wyclef catalog is more famous than him. And I said, yeah, thank God I own that catalog.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
the good thing though, I'm listening to, your voice, Quiet Storm. Someone please call 911. Um, they say two wrongs don't make it right, so we get to like reminisce off of like some good R&B, some good reggae, some good hip hop. It's gonna be a good vibe. Dougie Fresh,
Oh,
when Dougie shows up, man, it just be a show. But what I do is what I love about this 3 days is the fusion of the all the way from the Gen Z generation, which would be
yeah,
my growing up, all the way up to now. So it's sort of like, and what TikTok does,
yeah.
TikTok is ageless, man. I was at a Clive Davis party, I think like 3 months ago, and then Earth, Wind, and Fire comes on. You know what I mean? And it's like they're like, well, I guess we still popping. We got 1 billion views on TikTok. You know what I'm saying to you, off of September. But it's just to show you that when people do like great music, it becomes a cultural phenomenon. And you said something important. So for me, preserving the culture is probably one of the most important things for me because as somebody, whether if it was the Fugees, Mary J. Blige, Destiny Child, Shakira, Santana, it goes on and on, just to been able to touch that and not put like a barrier on it. You feel me? Like it's sort of like I remember when I was doing Maria Maria, and people was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, you sure that's gonna work, bro? Like, you sure that's gonna play on black radio, man?" And I was like, "Well," I said, "I think that you're calling it black radio." I said, but
Yeah.
to us, it's just called culture, right? I said, we just, I said, if you do your history and you look at Harlem and the mixing pot of culture in Harlem, that should automatically let you know that Maria Maria goes in the same bank with the Cool and the
Same
Gang.
thing.
You know what I'm
Same
saying
thing.
to you?
No
So,
questions.
so again, we're very excited about that, but putting Harlem in the forefront, you know what I mean, is
I'm so
exciting.
glad.
Yeah.
I, I'm so glad. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you haven't recognized the voice, Wyclef Jean is with us tonight inside of the Quiet Storm. I'm going to slip into a little 911 with you and the queen of hip hop and R&B, but I'm also going to come out with another song before we introduce you, and you're going to talk about My Love Is Your Love, a song that you
Um,
did for Whitney Houston. But
yes,
Wyclef,
sir.
baby, inside of the Quiet Storm tonight. So turn it up and enjoy this one. Welcome inside the Quiet Storm. I'm Lenny Green, and joining me on the Love Lines tonight, and on and by UStream and by Streamyard, because we can't be in the same location at the moment. But I have my brother Wyclef Jean with us tonight. And in case you didn't know, this coming weekend on Randall's Island, it's going to be the Harlem Festival of Culture. Now, this is going to be enriched, deep enriched, and Wyclef is the co-chair. So if you know how this brother works creatively, he wanted to fuse things together the right way to make it burst, and he's making it blossom. So please do not miss this 3-day event. Like you just said it a moment ago, Cliff, that you want the families to come out. You want the children to come out. You
Definitely.
want
We
them to
want
be
we want
exposed to this.
Yeah, we want all the families to come out, and shout out to creative director Michael Bivens, killing it out there. So it's so many people that we have on board. That's pretty amazing. And again, it's a
Estelle,
family event. You know what I mean? So we want everybody to come out, bring your families, and it's so important because I feel also like culturally we losing like sense of family too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
These events where from the Gen Zs to the parents can enjoy that. I think we need more of those. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
do.
definitely.
I agree. I think when parents can relate to what the kids are listening to, the kids will be able to embrace what the parents have been built on, have been appreciated over the years as well. And then that's a wonderful mixture as well. Look, just a moment ago, we played 911, but we should let everybody know that you have touched so many other creative levels. And when you did Best Thing for Whitney Houston, My Love Is Your Love, they were questioning that song as well to see if it was going to make it, if it was going to fit right for her. It
Yeah,
became a hit.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I would say I think that now it makes more sense to the public who I am, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm purely talking about like sometimes like my core hip hop audience. You know what I'm saying? Because I never follow any kind of rules. You know what I'm saying to you? So mentor Clive Davis brought me in to write for Whitney Houston. And I wrote the record, My Love's Your Love. Um, really, I channeled the record as a preacher's son, you know, and I was like, I'm gonna write this from just, you know, we all knew what Whitney was going through, and I just wrote it from a pure level. And when I was writing the record, to be honest with you, I was like, man, I don't know if Whitney gonna want to sing this because you and and she of course fell in love with the record and she killed it.
Killed
And
it.
again, it was something totally different than what Whitney was used to. You know what I'm saying? I like had an R&B church vibe to it, but I had a reggae undertone to it, a
Yes, sir.
Caribbean vibe moving under it. And of course, that was one of Whitney's biggest comeback records. My Love's Your Love won a lot of awards, and of course, again, humbly and I don't underestimate my people. You feel what I'm saying to you? I feel
Right.
like coming up, record companies be like, yo, this is country, this is rock,
Mm.
this is reggae. But you gotta understand when we hear Otis Redding,
Ah,
like, what does that sound like to y'all?
speak on it.
It's not gonna burn.
Right.
I mean, like you'd be like, that's country music. No, it's
Yes,
blues.
sir.
You know what I'm saying to you? So at the end of the day, I think that we can say it, right? You know, we have to categorize things because this is how things are sold. What I love about streaming services now
I'm
and
glad
that
you brought that up.
idea, I think that whole thing is out the window now, right? Because, you know, and it all proves to my point because my little niece can have a ACDC t-shirt on and she's
Mm.
listening to ACDC. She's 14 and she'll
Wow.
go, and I didn't tell her about no ACDC.
Right.
She'll literally go from an ACDC to a Tupac song to a Marvin Gaye song. And that's all I've
Diversity.
been trying to preach like since a kid. So for me, I think that Whitney, My Love's Your Love. I guess a fun fact with the Whitney joint, for me, my most memorable moment in that session was it was Whitney, it was her daughter, it was Bobby Brown. And I had Bobby Brown singing background. So I tucked that in. But you know, the craziest
Wow.
moment for me, the craziest moment was Whitney's in the booth and her daughter is like watching her mom sing, glaring her through the glass. And then her daughter says, "Sing, mommy." And
Woo.
Whitney can't hear that because she's on the other side of the glass. So what I did was I bought a mic and then I was recording her. You know what I mean? I'm recording the daughter. And I'm, what did you say? She said, "Sing, mommy." And I sampled that and I held it. And Whitney didn't hear it until the final version.
I love it.
And she was just blown away. You know what I'm saying? That to me, it's like, you know, this is like the real queen of pop. So
Yeah.
it was like how all I was thinking of, like, how can I show her how much I appreciate her and as a producer and writer can let her know, like, you know, I really believe like she's one of the ones, you know what I mean? So I think My Love's Your Love definitely did that.
Brother, all that I could say, brother, your musical genius has worked and continues to work multiple and on multiple levels at different times in the span of the moment. You know, you could do radio at a heartbeat because we catch it just like that. You heard that in your ear, and Whitney did not hear it, but you heard something that could fit so comfortably into that song. So that was a creative genius moment, man. I know you have plenty of those. One day I would love just to have a conversation with you, invite you to the podcast. And I love the stories because there's always stories behind the music, behind the
Facts.
songs, what inspires them, what makes them happen. And Lord knows you've been inspired by so much. You had to be in order to bring what you have brought to the table. And this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, Wyclef Jean and Mike Bivins and
I mean, this weekend is
Excel,
everybody. Yeah,
everybody.
Tiana, definitely look it up. It's gonna be like I said, it's one of those like super epic. You know, everyone has been like, "Oh man, I've been in the house a little bit. I'm trying to go out." I'm telling you, all the families feel really, really comfortable to really go out. Ain't gonna be like over craziness. Think
Right.
y'all enjoy yourselves. The vendors will be there. Like kick back, like what I'm saying. Especially like I feel like the older generation, like y'all already put in y'all time. You know what I'm saying? Kids are either in college or doing their thing. Like sometimes I think the older you get, the less you forget about having fun. You know what I'm saying to you? So
Yeah,
please come out like for yourself and have a good time. You dig?
I love it. I love it. It's the Harlem Festival of Culture this weekend, Randall's Island. Um, do they go? Is there a website we can send everybody to, or
Yeah, there's a site. I think they're gonna
I'll,
set up the site.
I'll pull up that information and give
Yeah.
that to you a little later. But my brother, I thank you for your time. Can will we ever see Fuji's reunion possibly at some point?
Well, we just did we did a surprise for at the Roots picnic this year. Shout out to the Roots, shout out to Miss Hill, Prize, the whole gang. We did for John Forte, we did a surprise on the Miseducation came out. So a
Mhm.
lot of people didn't even know, right? They was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And we popped up, and that's the thing about the Fugees, So all I could do is say, there's some surprises in the work, so stay tuned. You feel me?
Brother, we will stay tuned. Please
Yeah.
stay locked in with us. And you always have an open door and a seat inside of the Quiet Storm, man, anytime you decide to sit down with us.
Respect to you, King, always.